The afternoon sun cast long shadows across the manicured lawns of Hudson, Ohio, a picture of suburban tranquility. But on April 19, 2023, that peace was shattered. Police officers, dispatched to a welfare check, approached the Grand Colonial home of 41-year-old Dr. Todd Morgan. He was a respected professor, a doting father, and a man who had inexplicably failed to pick up his young daughter from school. Her mother, Mary, had called the authorities, a knot of unease tightening in her stomach. Todd never missed a school pickup. As officers navigated the long, winding driveway, an ominous silence hung in the air. What they were about to discover inside would unravel a hidden life, expose dark secrets, and ignite a murder investigation unlike any other. Dr. Todd Morgan was a man of impressive credentials. A professor of business and finance at the University of Cleveland, he held multiple degrees, including a PhD. To many, he was an intellectual, a serious academic, but to his two children, a 10-year-old son from a previous marriage and a nearly 5-year-old daughter with ex-girlfriend Mary, he was simply Dad. He loved to goof around, play video games, and embark on adventures with them. Yet, beneath this seemingly perfect facade, Todd harbored behaviors that were about to tragically surface. At just before 7:00 p.m., officers Peggy and Bowen arrived at Todd's residence on West Streetsboro Street. The front door was locked, but a back door stood ajar. Pushing it open, they were met with a scene of horror. Todd Morgan lay on the floor, clad only in a dressing gown, a severe head wound visible. Blood stained the floor around him. Initially, officers suspected suicide, noting shell casings nearby. But a crucial detail was missing: there was no weapon. As they swept the house, the officers' suspicions deepened. Another casing, identical to those by Todd's body, lay at the base of the stairs. In a child's bedroom, a piggy bank was overturned, but nothing else appeared disturbed, casting doubt on a robbery motive. The master bedroom, however, told a different story. The bed was disheveled, bottles of alcohol and other drinks were scattered, and open condom packages littered the floor. There was no gun to be found. This was no suicide. This was murder. Detectives were immediately called to the scene. Todd's autopsy revealed the brutal truth. He had been shot 7 times with a 9mm handgun. One shot, delivered at close range, had been fatal within minutes. The back door, near where Todd was found, was clearly damaged. A piece of the door frame around the lock was missing, suggesting it had been forced open from the inside. Outside, on the deck, bloodied footprints led away from the house, down the steps, and towards the driveway where Todd's Porsche SUV remained parked. Officers meticulously checked their own footwear. The prints belonged to no one on the scene. The killer had left their mark. Inside, multiple laptops and tablets lay in plain view, further dismissing the idea of a robbery. Todd's wallet and keys were found, though his wallet contained no cash, which family noted was typical for him. But Todd's cell phone was missing. 8 shell casings were eventually recovered. Several firearms registered to Todd were found in the house: an unloaded 9mm handgun and a shotgun hidden in a closet, and another 9mm with a round in the chamber under a Spider-Man mask in the master bedroom. None of these were the murder weapon. The killer had brought their own. Investigators turned to Todd's neighbors, hoping for a lead. Linda, from down the street, described Todd as odd. She found it suspicious that he drove a nice car, worked from home, and had the means to fully renovate his large house. There's something off about him, she had always felt. Next door, retired grandfather Brian had seen and heard nothing unusual. But then, Eugene and Sherry, a married couple, came forward with a crucial account. Around 7:20 a.m. that morning, they had heard what sounded like gunshots coming from Todd's property. At the time, they dismissed it as a car backfiring or construction noise. More importantly, they had seen an unfamiliar car, a light-colored crossover, parked next to Todd's Porsche in the driveway. Sherry recalled seeing a person, small, framed with long hair, emerge from Todd's house, go to the car, and then return inside briefly before driving away at a quick pace. This wasn't one of the vehicles they usually saw at Todd's house, which often included a Jeep belonging to one of his ex-partners. Eugene later reviewed his Ring doorbell camera footage. Though blurry, it confirmed the presence of a light-colored crossover next to Todd's Porsche at 7:00 a.m. By 7:30 a.m., It was gone. The pieces were beginning to fit together. Todd Morgan had been murdered, and a suspect was emerging from the shadows. As the investigation deepened, authorities contacted Mary, Todd's ex-girlfriend. They learned that Todd's first marriage had ended due to an affair with a student, a pattern that had repeated in subsequent relationships. Mary also revealed Todd's struggles with alcohol, his sobriety monitored through a breathalyzer app that sent her daily reports. His last successful test was the day before his death. Mary mentioned only one potential source of conflict: tensions between Todd and his ex-wife's new boyfriend over child exchanges. Then, a pivotal discovery. A 911 call had been placed from Todd Morgan's address at 7:21 a.m. on April 19th. The call was silent, likely an accidental SOS dial from an iPhone. Investigators theorized the killer had inadvertently triggered it. Tracing the cell phone, they identified the owner, Tiriana Siobhan Denise Paschal, an Akron woman. Her physical description, slim build, long dark hair, and her vehicle, a silver crossover, matched the neighbor's account perfectly. Officers immediately went to Tiriana's address. The homeowner claimed she didn't live there and refused entry. But the digital trail was relentless. A search warrant for Tiriana's phone data revealed that just 6 minutes after the accidental 911 call, her phone was traveling at 60 mph near Interstate 271. Crucially, Todd Morgan's missing cell phone followed the exact same path before its signal abruptly vanished, never to be recovered. The case against Tiriana Paschal began to snowball. Investigators made a chilling connection. A 9mm cartridge from Todd's crime scene matched a firearm linked to an unsolved homicide in Cleveland from 2021. In that case, the primary suspect was the ex-girlfriend of the victim and the registered owner of the gun, Tiriana Paschal. She had been questioned about that unsolved murder just days before Todd's death. The evidence mounted. The ring footage showed a vehicle resembling Tiriana's silver Ford Taurus parked at Todd's house. The shoe prints on the deck matched a specific Nike sneaker, photos of which Tiriana had posted on Facebook just months earlier. Surveillance footage captured her silver Taurus driving away from the area that morning. Days after the murder, Tiriana switched her phone and number, but authorities continued to monitor her activity. On April 2070, she searched for, "Can police track my phone, even if I remove the SIM?" and accessed multiple articles about Todd Morgan's murder, searching her own name in connection to the crime 41 times in the following weeks. Finally, Tiriana's DNA was found on a Black & Mild cigar and on condoms inside Todd's house. When Tiriana Paschal was brought in for questioning, she initially denied knowing Todd Morgan or ever being in Hudson. But detectives systematically dismantled her claims, presenting her with her own phone data, location history, search queries, and messaging records. It was revealed that Todd and Tiriana had connected through the dating app Bumble, then moved their conversations to text messages. Her messaging history contained numerous exchanges soliciting prostitution, with Tiriana stating she only did alt calls and providing price lists to potential clients. On the morning of his murder, Todd had sent Tiriana $50 via Cash App. 23 minutes later, a second Cash App transfer for $30,000 was initiated from Todd to an account named Black Beauty, which Tiriana confirmed was hers. However, this larger transfer required Todd's phone to authenticate it, a notification he received just before 7:30 a.m. He never verified the payment. The money never went through. Tiriana never conceded her presence at Todd Morgan's house that day. But she didn't need to. Faced with an avalanche of irrefutable evidence, phone data, ring footage, shoe prints, DNA, her own internet searches, and the damning Cash App transactions, Tiriana Paschal initially pleaded not guilty to murder. Yet, on the day her trial was set to begin, she accepted a plea deal. She would admit guilt in exchange for a sentence of 20 years to life for aggravated murder, plus an additional 3 years for a firearm specification, making her eligible for parole after 23 years. In September 2024, Todd's family delivered their impact statements. Mary spoke of their daughter, who was just 4 when she waited for her father, confused and heartbroken. "I had to explain to her that her daddy wouldn't be coming back because someone had hurt him," Mary recounted, her voice thick with emotion. Todd's mother, Sandy, revealed her son's struggles, how he had told her he felt broken, just weeks before his death, trying to better himself through exercise and meditation. You took a father from two beautiful children. They were his world and he was theirs. Sandy told Tiriana, her grief raw. Tiriana Paschal's statement was brief, almost perfunctory. "I'm very sorry, and I hope that one day that you can find it in your hearts to forgive me," she said, before receiving her sentence.